Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, said there have been misinformation on one aspect of the ministry's policy in respect to tertiary education. The minister stated this during a meeting with heads of agencies, parastatals and directors at the Ministry of Education in Abuja on Tuesday, said this is an absolute lie and completely false. This government believes in the provision of government institution, has not shied away from the force from the government needs from the private sector. For decades now, private sectors have played a major role in the provision of tertiary education, and there are more private universities in Nigeria than public universities combined. What the government has done is to open up the tertiary education level in particular, the universities for global competitiveness, and allow those who operate in this area at international level to come into the country and set up institutions open for collaboration with our local universities under guidelines of what is called transnational education. So it's not like we're selling off our universities to private individuals. We are making it open for the world to come in, and then we are ready to partner with them. So that's what they call the transnational university system or something like that. We're ready to partner with them to help our university system. Because when we look at our university system in general, the curriculum, everything is outdated. The equipment outdated, complaints by the lecturers, even the knowledge, that's the curriculum outdated. A lot of things have been noticed, and even the equipments that we have in some of these are agri departments and farms, they are not working. So a lot is not going right with our educational system. Do you feel like this step or this move by the federal government to, you know, allow foreigners to actually come in and they are ready to partner with them to set up these universities would actually help our university and education system?
Yes, I think so. I think I don't have any problem with this. For me, I don't have any problem with this because since those are our lecturers, those are professors that went out to study, they refuse to impart those knowledge to the people. Majority of our professors today study outside this country, and most of them went through scholarship. Let me use River State as an example. Most of our professors today went through state-funded scholarship, and they study in the best university in the world. And when they came back, they hired them to teach. Okay? Now, what are the differences? What are the ideas they saw there that is not in our educational system? Have they come in to build up, to compete with others? That to show that the federal government is also saying that our educational system is very poor. The result from
we know it's not
very
news.
Poor.
And we cannot say that the federal government is not aware.
You understand? It's very poor because for you to seek partnership from foreign educators to come in and then invest, they are talking about investing in the educations and then do partnership. For me, it's not bad, but I will look at the cost-relative differences. If we still have that running in the country, and it will still be for the rich, because it's more of like a private university.
But we'll have less educational brain drain. We'll have less of our students going out there to study. Because if we have these universities, imagine we have these universities.
Yes, it will reduce our children.
Exactly.
Traveling
and the
out.
Exchange, the foreign exchange will help our naira.
Of course.
You know, in that particular regard.
I completely want them to develop on this. As for me, I want them to develop on this.
On the case you talked about the lecturers studying outside and them not incorporating those ideas and practices that they got outside the country here in Nigeria, lecturers have complained that let's start with the demands of ASU now. You find out that they're also asking for an they're asking for a change in the system. They're asking for an updated system of education. That means they're also asking for an updated curriculum, updated materials, updated equipment, updated. So the lecturers, I feel from their explanation, it looks like they're a bit limited to what they can do as regards improving and updating our curriculum.
Yes, I will partly agree with them, but to some extent, I think they need to do more by their welfare. They need to do more. I'm talking about when you have people, they do research every point in time. They travel out for research. Okay, sometimes this university sponsors them for that, to go and study and bring what you have studied. At this point in time, I think if they come together, bring their wealth of experience, what they think could better the educational sector, it will also be a kind of giving back to the society what they have learned outside. Like I said, majority of them passed through scholarships. They did not pay a dime. And most of these people, once they got the opportunity to head any universities, they will be the one to increase school fees. Those that went through free scholarship to study.
Why do you think that is?
It has happened. Practically, I don't want to mention names here. Most of our vice chancellors and all that head of schools that passed through free educations to the university level, study abroad, and came back, God bless them, promoted them to be VC of universities. They will be the one to increase school fees, so that other children cannot access education. It will be only their own children. They will say education is not for the poor, it is for the rich.
The school will definitely need.
But they were looking for the poor children to educate, to train free of charge, just for you to acquire the knowledge to develop the community. Now when you came back, you see, oh, if everybody start going out, nobody will respect me again. So let's make it higher.
Could that be the reason they actually did that?
I don't need to ask them their reason.
Or maybe, you know, they've talked about the funding not being enough. ASU has always complained
We don't want to talk
about.
We don't want to talk about their issues today. If I want to talk about their issues today, their issue is so enormous. Their issues doesn't have directive. Their issue doesn't have directive. It is you collecting school fees. It is you regulating everything. You are still asking government to do everything for you, free. Government is still paying you. The school fees you charge students, you don't pay yourself, unlike a private university.
The school fees is not the school fees that they charge students. Let's not forget that these universities are not they're not taking care of themselves. How do I put it now?
That is it. That's what
the government, the fund still goes to the government.
That is it.
You just described a scenario that's looking like they are getting the funds, they're not taking care of the school.
Do you know how many budgets of each of the schools in each year running into billions of naira? Their budget each year running into billions of naira. Now, you are using that budget. Who is to suffer for it? The students. Now, you are imposing it on the student. How to generate revenue from the student that you are not giving enough knowledge they needed, because their focus is to have to make money from the student rather than to impart knowledge into the student. Okay? I went to universities where I did not pay school fees because I want to write exam. Now, it's not like that again. If you don't pay school fees, you cannot access exam hall. I went to universities when you cannot pay school fees, you will still be allowed to write your exams. And at the end of the day, you want to do clearance.
True, that's when you pay
off everything.
Yes, but it all changed.
It all changed.
I think it changed in, was it 2016?
This encourage people from a poor background to go to school. Now, if there's any section you cannot pay, you carry over the year.
You repeat that section.
So it is not helping the people. And we are talking about our children not going to school.
And when that was introduced in Uniport, then it seemed like there was not enough notice for the students to even prepare. You know,
there was protest now, just that
announced. That was the period when I was actually in that school. It was just announced, and I remember that protest you're talking about.
Yes.
It was a huge protest. Students scattered a lot of things, and we had to pay for it. They told us to pay for it at the end of the day. But let's look at this